You're watching the Livewell, brought to you by Rapala.
Finally we can say it, Ronnie Moore. We are almost there. We're ready to start the 2022 season for the Bassmaster Elite Series. We're going to start it off as we have the past 3 years, consecutive years, and 24 years overall at one of the most unique places in all of the world of bass fishing, St. Johns River in Florida. Tommy Sanders, Ronnie Moore, going to give our folks a little preview of it here.
Yeah, exactly, Tommy. This is, like you said, the fourth time in a row, fifth time in about 7 or 8 years that we've been at the St. Johns, but every time we're there, it's a little bit different. And so cold weather can really impact that body of water, long runs, a fog delay like we had last year. And we always see something special, either giant bass or big comebacks at the St. Johns River.
Absolutely. A unique place. I mean, there's no place like it on earth. It truly is old Florida, 310 miles starting from South Central Florida all the way up to the ocean in Jacksonville. It runs south to north. It is, the native people called it the Weelaka, the river of lakes, and they have got lakes galore there, including the second largest lake in the state of Florida.
Yeah, Lake George at the bottom of the St. Johns. I guess it's the top of the St. Johns River, the way it flows, but from Palatka, they would go south towards Lake George, and that's a place that really hasn't shined like it used to on the Elite Series when there was a bunch of grass, plentiful areas to fish there, but the south end, where the river funnels into Lake George, has been very key, whether it's the springs to the west of the lake or those lily pads and channel swings at the bottom of the lake. There's been a lot of areas where it's kind of been one or guys have sampled from, but it's one that we need to keep an eye on.
So much, we've all got so much experience watching these tournaments on the St. Johns, yet it's very hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. I mean, we went from 2 years ago, it was one north of Palatka up in 6 Mile Creek, way back in a little corner there, and the day 1 and 2 leader, Gary Klaus, last year, he had run away from everybody all the way upstream down south.
Basically, the only places it hasn't been one, Tommy, is in Rodman when they lock through to Rodman, or in Crescent Lake, but we will always have someone in the top 10 represented there. And Tommy, when we think about it, for the Rapala Livewell, the preview of this event, a couple baits, I mean, it's kind of all over the place in Florida. Always, soft plastics will always play. That's something that when you're in February, in March, in Florida, the spawn has been on and it's continuing through. People like to flip, people like to do that. That's one thing, but with it being a little colder in Florida this year, unseasonably cold for them, it's kind of lingering into this event. We could maybe see the spinnerbait come back like a Rick Clun threw a couple years ago. A Terminator spinnerbait would probably be something to cover water, especially around docks, those canals, be able to maximize your time covering some water. But I also think, Tommy, if it stays colder, those lows, if they get too low at the night, the highs don't really matter. If it gets into the low 20s, the mid 20s, it kind of hurts Florida fishing. But we've seen other anglers make top 10s and do well with a jerkbait, whether it's with forward-facing sonar or fishing those shell bars in the turns of the river. Using a moving bait that will cover that mid-depth portion works out well for them. But if it starts to warm up just a little bit and you want to still cover some water, the X-Prop from Rapala is going to be a great topwater, because not only does it do what a normal topwater does, attract fish up, this makes bedfish, the ones that are just showing themselves, it makes them expose themselves, and then you can slow down, maybe flip and pitch and catch them there. But the St. Johns River, a lot of baits that can be in play. We don't know what weather's going to be. The forecast says one thing, it can change in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. What the forecast is saying now, as we stand here about 9-10 days before the start of the tournament, is it's going to be a little colder than average the week of the tournament. Day before it starts, it's going to dip down to about 40, 39 degrees or 40, which is not extreme, but once again, these are Florida strain bass, and they're very sensitive to all of that.
The highs, though, seem pretty consistent in the 60s, which is good. 40 to 60, that's solid. The big thing is it 40 to 6 degrees with cloud cover, or is that sun going to make an appearance? The sun can make a huge difference on the way those Florida strain bass react.
The AFTCO Bassmaster Elite at the St. Johns River. We hope you'll join us for all the coverage.